Hi, very good afternoon, one and all. Let us coming to ninth biology. Regarding ninth biology, at present we are discussing about sixth chapter, sense organs. So obviously we are having the two major kinds of organs. After completion of cell tissues, then we are moving to the organ level. So apart from that organization of level, when we are learn and discussing about that cell level, tissue level, further we are moving to that organ level. But we are having the two kinds of organs. One is motor organs like forelimbs and hind limbs. The second category of organs are very sensitive to that particular stimulus. So these kind of organs are called as sense organs. So as we all know about, obviously we are having the five kinds of sense organs. Those are five main sense organs. Those are eye, ear, nose, tongue and skin. Is clear, children? We are having five main sense organs. Those are eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. These sense organs have sensory receptors. So as you know about what is meant by receptor and what is meant by stimulus. So receptor cells with the help of stimulus. For example, light is a stimulus. When we have to switch on the light, immediately the light falls on our eye. So here light is a stimulus. So the light receiving particulates which are present in our eye is called as a receptor cells. So eye is having the photoreceptor cells. Eye is having the photoreceptor cells, as well as ear is having the auditory receptor cells. Nose, chemoreceptors are olfactory receptor cells. Tongue, gustatory receptor cells. Skin, cutaneous receptor cells. Means all these five kinds of sense organs, each type of receptor is highly sensitive to particular specific type of stimulus. Is clear, children? So each type of sense organ is a very particular about each type of stimulus. For example, ears are sensitive to auditory, means vibration of the sounds which are produced by these middle ear bones. So eyes are specific stimulus for that to receiving the light. So this is the mechanism which is present in the sensory organs. So our sense organs are not just like a part of us, it is defined as. So our sense organs are very sensitive to a particular situation. Is clear, children? Now we are coming to the regarding our sense organs. First of all, we are going to the first sense organ is eye. Why should we select eye is the first and foremost sense organ? Because of its own significance, because of it is a vital role. Of course, we are seeing the objects with the help of eyes, but chemically, internally, we are seeing the objects with the neural information. That means the light falls on the eye can transmit the information in the form of neural information, transportation with the help of optic nerve cross over to the optic lobes which are located in the brain. So that is what it is very special. So let us coming to the eye. The study of eye is called as ophthalmology. Who are special interested? Exclusively they are studying about that eye. Those are called as ophthalmologists, eye specialists. See, regarding that eye, we are having the textbook concern. Two concepts. One is the structure of the eye. The second one is mechanism of the eye. So let us first we have to discussing about the external structure and internal structure of the eye. Let us coming to external structure of the eye. We are having the eyelashes, eyelids. Eyelashes means hairs which are present in the eyelids. So eyelids, eyelashes, eyebrows. As well as the corner of the eye, each eye is having a small hole is present. That hole always secretes the tears, asuru grandulu. So these lacrimal glands produce the water, secretes the water, which keeps always the eyes are a moist condition. I mean that it should not be dry. Why? Because always these lacrimal glands secretes the water. Why? Because see here, the blue color line indicates to the aqueous chamber. Is clear. So if any dust particles are placed or fall on the eye, unknowingly our that tears or secretes more and more, it should be washed out. So it is called as a autonomous nervous system, means involuntary reactions. That we have to discuss in the next higher classes like 10th class. See, so this is the structure of the eye. This is the structure of the eye. Well, let us coming to the structure of the eye. Actually, the external surface, the external appearance of the eye is very little when compared to the whole eye. Actually, the whole eye is like the size of the ball of cricket. So nearly it is the structure of eye ball. It is a ball-like structure which is located in the eye sockets. But 1/6 portion only it is external appearance. Remaining 5th part of eye is located in the eye sockets. Is clear? Now let us come into the structure of the eye is having mainly 3 layers. The structure of the eye is having mainly 3 layers. Those are, the first one is sclera. See, this is called as a sclerotic layer. The sclerotic layer is the first and foremost layer. It is the very tough, non-elastic, and it is very tough and non-elastic. Is clear, children? So these sclera bulges, means swells, and it has to form to the conjunctiva. Is clear? So sclera is the first and foremost layer which can protect the eye from the mechanical injuries. If suppose any sharp object or any object is hit the eye unknowingly or immediately, so immediately our eye should not be damaged, because we are having the external protection of mechanical injuries or physical barriers by this sclerotic layer or sclera. So sclerotic layer or sclera is the thick, tough, fibrous and non-elastic structure. Is clear? Next, coming to these sclera bulges and forms the conjunctiva. Sclera bulges and forms the conjunctiva. This is called as the first and the last parts. Next, coming to the second layer. The second layer is called as a choroid layer. The second layer is called as a choroid layer. See, this is the choroid layer. It is attached to the black color part. So the total ear, the total eye is having to the covering by this choroid layer. The total eye is covered by that choroid layer, which is having the rich blood vessels. Clear, children? First layer is sclerotic layer or sclera, which is the outermost layer of the eye, which can protect from the mechanical injuries or physical barriers by the tough, non-fibrous and the layer. Next one is a choroid layer, which is having the more and more blood vessels, connection. Next part is called as retina. So first part is sclera is completed. The second one is a choroid layer. The second part is called as a choroid layer. So the choroid layer is having obviously rich blood vessels connection. It can occupy entire the eye except the pupil. It can cover all the part of the eye except the pupil, because of pupil is a small hole in the black color part of the eye. See, choroid layer which can cover the total eye except the pupil. Is clear, children? Next part is called as retina. It is the highest sensitive part of the eye is called as a retina. So retina is occupying entire the eye. So almost total eye is having the retina. So this is the portion of the retina. So this retina is made up of two kinds of cells based on the shape of the cells. Those are called as rods and cones. So based on the shape of the cells, these cells are called as rod cells and cone cells. Based on the shape of the cells, the retina is having the rod shaped cells and cone shaped cells. Next, see, this is called as a biconvex lens. So these lens, this is called as a biconvex lens. This biconvex lens is attached with the help of a special kind of muscles that is called as a ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles means they are having the cilia. So these muscles are having the cilia. So this is called as a ciliary muscles. These ciliary muscles keep the lens in a perfect length, focal length. Due to the age factor, of course, the ciliary muscles are becomes to weak and they have to loosen the lens. So obviously the lens are coming to bend towards to the front or back. So it causes to eyesight. That we have to discuss in a later. So what I am explaining, first one is a sclera or sclerotic layer, which is the outermost layer, which can covers the total front portion of the eye. It forms to bulges. It causes to the formation of conjunctiva. The second layer is a choroid layer, which is having the rich blood vessels connection. The third one is having the retina. It is the highest sensitive part of the eye, inner eye. So in this inner eye is having the rod cells and the cone cells. So what is the use of rods and cones? So rods help us to detect the color in the dim light or dark. So while during the night time, due to lack of light, we are unable to distinguish the colors, but we can identify the object with the brown color or ash colors. Or at the night time, all the objects are appearing in only in one color, that is called as a ash or light brown color. Why? Because these rods are having the rod shaped cells, the rods and the cones. See, rods and cones, these are the two types of special type of cells are present in the retina. So rods are help us to identify the objects during the night time or dark time. These cones are help us to bright colors. Cones help us to identify or distinguish the primary colors and secondary colors. So what do you mean by primary colors? Blue, green, yellow. So these are called as primary colors. See here, while coming to the textbook page number 80, we are having the two kinds of cells. This is the structure of eye. So in this eye, they are keeping to the extension part. These are called as rods and cones. So rods and cones, based on the structure, it is called as a rod shaped cell or cone shaped structures. So rods are help us to detect the dark, these rods are help us to identify the dim light or dark night. While coming to these cones are help us to distinguish the colors, primary colors and secondary colors. So primary colors means they are given to the colors red, green, blue. Red, green, blue is called as a primary color. The remaining all the colors is called as a secondary colors. So we have to distinguish the colors, primary colors and secondary colors with the help of these cones. Next we are coming to the blind spot. So what do you mean by blind spot? Actually, this is the way the light falls on the eye. For example, see, this is the light. This is the light. For example, this is a candle light or external bulb. So this is the source of stimulus. So when the stimulus is present, automatically we should respond according to the stimulus. When the light falls on the conjunctiva, it forms to the sclera. Next, it forms to the choroid layer. Next, it falls on the, this is called as the iris, black, brown color part of the eye. The brown color part of the white color part and the brown color part, and the middle we are having a small dot like structure. This is the external structure of the eye. See, this is called as a pupil, this is called as an iris, this is called as a, this part we call as a aqueous chamber, this part we call as an aqueous chamber, this is called as an iris. So, what is the flow chart? First one is conjunctiva, aqueous chamber and iris, this is a pupil. Once again I repeat, this is called as conjunctiva. See, this is called as a conjunctiva. Next one is blue color line is indicates to the aqueous chamber. Next this brown color, actually this is a brown color. So this brown color part is called as an iris. After brown color we are having a dark black color. In between the dark black color, the center part we are having a small dot like structure that we call as a pupil. So conjunctiva, aqueous chamber, iris and pupil. Next, biconvex lens. So these biconvex lens, the light falls on the biconvex lens in the form of virtual image. It's not a real image, it is upside down. So the reversible image is formed in the biconvex lens. Then it forms to the retina. So the light falls on the retina. Retina is having a rod and cone shaped cells. So it transforms the information in the form of neural transformation. So this optic nerve arises from the biconvex lens towards to crossing over to the brain. So this is the pathway which involves in the mechanism of eye functioning. Is clear, children? See, first one is conjunctiva, aqueous chamber. Next one is iris, pupil, biconvex lens, optic nerve. So this is the rods and the cones. So retina, for example, see, this is the area which I have to mark there. The area is having a more number of rods and the cones. So this is very sensitive to vision. So this part is called as a fovea or macula, means it is having a good eyesight. When we have to see with the help of this portion, this is called as a good eyesight. This is called as a fovea or macula. Fovea or macula. Is clear, children? Next, when we have to see here, see, for example, I would like to see a piece of chalk in the place of when I was placed. This is called as optic nerve. So I am unable to see the piece of chalk. Why? Because my piece of chalk is placed in the optic nerve position. So I am unable to see this. This is called as optic nerve. I mean that the optic nerve where arises the rods are formed, the rods and cones are absent. The rods and cones are absent in the place of these optic nerve. So this is called as a blind spot. The blind spot. This is optic nerve. Next, the lens which keeps two partitions. The front of the biconvex lens is called as the aqueous chamber. Obviously, the second part is called as a vitreous chamber. Vitreous chamber means rods and cones are present in a more number. So this is called as a biconvex lens. So these are the parts which are present in the eye. Once again I repeat, sclera, choroid, retina. These are the three main layers which can protect the eye. Sclerotic layer or sclera, outermost layer. The second layer is the choroid layer. The third one is the retina. Retina is having the rods and cones. The rods and cones are more present in that a part. That part we call as a macula or a fovea. Means best vision spot. The spot mean that the optic nerve which arises and which goes towards to the brain, this part is called as a blind spot. Means we are unable to see the objects. Next one is optic nerve. Next, vitreous chamber. This is called as an aqueous chamber. The lens are called as biconvex lens. Iris and pupil. So what is the difference between the iris and pupil, rods and cones? It is very important regarding to the improved learning questions. So rods are the cells more in number when compared to cones. For example, see what is the ratio of rods and cones? Rods 15%, cones only 1%. So more number of rods. Even though the light is unable during the power cut, we are able to see the objects with the brown color or ash color because of more number of rod cells are present in the retina. Is clear. Next, rhodopsin, the pigment rhodopsin is present in the rods. So what is meant by pigment? The coloring agent. For example, let us take green color leaf. The leaf appears in green color because of that chlorophyll is a pigment which is present in the leaf or chloroplast, which help to the plant in the photosynthesis process. So this is called as a pigment. So rhodopsin pigment is present in the rods as well as the cones, iodopsin pigment. The pigment iodopsin. So rods, rhodopsin. In cones, iodopsin. So rhodopsin, iodopsin, 15:1. This is the information about rods and cones. What is the major difference between the rods and cones? Rods help us to see in the dim light or dark light. Means light fade. Next, cones are help us to see in that daytime bright light. We are able to see, we are able to distinguish the colors, primary colors as well as secondary colors. This is the main difference between the rods and the cones. Next, coming to the iris and pupil. So what is meant by iris and what is meant by pupil? Iris is the brown color part. Typically it is a brown color. See, when we observe the eye, we are having the white, brown and small dot like structure. So this brown color part of the eye is called as iris. The small hole which is present in the center, that we call as a pupil. So with the help of this small hole, the light travels and it can be falls on the biconvex lens. So as a human being, we are having the binocular vision. Of course, we are seeing the objects with the help of two eyes. Both the eyes are taking the stimulus as a light with the help of these photoreceptors. Both the eyes forms the images and finally it travels towards the optic nerves. But finally the brain can understand only in one image. Both the eyes we are seeing the only one object. Of course, each eye is having to one image. But when we are opening both eyes, when we are seeing with the help of both the eyes, but the image is only one. Here one image, here one image. Finally it is understand about that only one image. That is called as a binocular vision. Our eye is having to adjust near and far. For example, we are able to see the piece of chalk in front of just 30 centimeters length. When we are able to see immediately the moon or sun which is very far away, nearly 3,84,000 kilometers distance of Earth to moon distance, nearly 150 crores of kilometers distance of sun and galaxy. So we are able to see within a fraction of seconds. The adjustment is the human eye power. So this is the information about the structure of the eye. Next part we are going to learn about the functioning of eye as well as that eye diseases and how to protect the eye. The related topics we are going to discuss in the next video. Thank you children. Thank you for watching.